Fill some hard drives. Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents The Titan's Gift Season 4 Episode 3. I am your DM and host Marty, joined by the full Seattle crew. How is everyone doing on this fine Tuesday? It's good to see you guys.
Doing great, man.
Yes.
Excited to be here.
It's starting to look like it might get good weather soon, and yeah, it's shaping up.
Yeah, it was a bit sunny here when I was trying to take a nap before a game.
Oh yeah.
My
Infuriating.
Yeah. It's like, how dare you?
Don't worry. It won't really be sunny until July 4th here, so.
Right. As is tradition.
It's the way it is.
Some things will never change.
Loving the hair, Luke.
Ooh, thank you. Took a shower today, so it's particularly bountiful.
I like how that in the era of work from home is now an event.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you forget. When was the last time again?
How's everyone doing? What's new and exciting? Hey, Fox.
Oh, pretty good. I've been sick for a week and a half, 2 weeks. I don't think it was COVID. I took a COVID test. It came back negative, but last week I had 100-degree fever, and then was feeling better. Tried to do a backpacking trip with my buddy while he was in town, and we got to the top of the mountain, set up our tents, and we're like, all right, this is good. Things are pretty good. And then this weird effect happened where the fog started pouring, spilling in over the trees into this mountain lake in a very weird, eerie, demonic sort of thing. And then the wind started up again, the snow started up again, the forecast called for thunder and lightning. So we just GTFO and got off the mountain, called it and all that. But man, I have just been struggling to get better for so long now. So finally starting to feel sort of okay. But yeah, that's been my life lately.
Yeah, there's a nasty flu going around. When we got back from Disneyland a couple weeks ago, and we still have the congestion from being sick.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It's just been I go to work and I'm just so tired, and it's just brutal, you know.
I think I had something similar a couple weeks ago where
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
It was the night I was starting to come down with it. The night when we gathered just offline and had a beer and talked. I was like, is this allergies? And then that night, no, it wasn't allergies. Normally you don't get fever with allergies. So yeah, that week and a half sucked. But it wasn't as bad as I was really sick in December, and that cough lasted, I don't know, 2 months afterwards. Yeah. Well, that's
yeah. It was tough. I mean, it's tough to be feverish and just feel like shit for 2 weeks. You know, it really throws your life a little bit off track.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Neil, what's new?
I don't know. I'll just say I'm jealous of those afternoon naps, man. That sounds good.
Fever dreams.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. No news on my side. Just got some travel coming up and planning a couple of trips, so that'd be pretty good.
Cool.
I've been running my 3D printer almost nonstop for a while now. My wife at work, she works with animals, and they were moving to a new location, and she needed door signs and things to identify specific doors in the buildings, and so I've been printing labels that she can stick to the doors like crazy. So I've been playing around with multicolored prints from that perspective, you know, to print the background in white and the foreground in, black. I mean, it's nothing tricky or whatever. You just need to be close to the printer at some point to swap the filament, which I might actually have to go do tonight. But that's probably the most exciting thing happening in my life at this point. Apart from summer, I mean, it's not summer, but it looks suspiciously like summer if I look outside today, and I hope it looks like that for a while. That'd be great.
Hell yeah. Trying to go camping this weekend, so keep it up.
I was going to say, what mountain were you bragging about? You were bragging about going up the mountain before it turned to shit. What was that? What mountain?
One that I'd never found before. It's a Blanchard State Forest, which is pretty close to you. It's north. It's like just before the Canadian border to the west of I-5, which is nice because it has like a loop trail where you can go up to, there's like an alpine lake with some campsites, and then come down. It's like an 8-mile loop total. So, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of people on the channel right now to blow up this spot, but come on, guys, don't blow up my spot.
Yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm looking at pictures. This looks pretty decent.
Yeah.
Matt, what's new on your end?
Not too much. Just work stress mostly, and I've been doing more cooking. Yeah. Honestly, not too much. Fallout 76. Cats got groomed. They're very, very soft. Jasper here, very, very soft.
No,
He likes hanging
What's
out
the
with you.
highlight dish you've been churning out lately?
I've been making good beans. Different. I made some sort of Tuscan style white beans with Parmesan.
Okay. Yeah.
You should make a big
Soaking
old pot
them-
of those.
You soaking them overnight? Is that the level of beans we're at right here?
Yeah. When I can, these I just soaked them for like an hour and then cooked them longer.
Yeah.
But it worked out pretty good. Beans relatively low glycemic. I'm gonna watch my blood sugar, so it works out pretty well as a base.
They're the magical fruit.
Yeah, the smells though. Yeah, who's gonna?
Absolutely. And I've been doing some casting.
There it is. There it is. Thank you.
Some old man magic. Pull my finger. I'll show you a trick.
First soak off helps, I think. So.
Pull my thumb.
Yeah.
Yep. Max?
Nothing super crazy on my end. Continuing the yearly resolution of trying to get through as many books as possible. I started another series called He Who Fights with Monsters. I didn't think I was going to like a lit RPG, but I loved the shit out of it. I'm on book 9 right now.
Nice.
It reads like a fantasy D&D fan fiction for people with ADHD, and holy crap, I did not realize I was going to fall in love with it so much. So it's been really good.
What's it called?
A lot of humor in it. He Who Fights with Monsters. It's a little dry to start with mechanically, but I appreciate like how much the characters have grown. It's really funny. I appreciated the humor. There's a lot of just like not just like inside jokes that build on themselves, but there's also just a lot of really good mechanical world building. And I don't know, I've really enjoyed it. I finally got my wife to start listening to it, and she's like, fine, I'll listen to book 1. And she just finished it tonight. She's like, can I start book 2 without you? And I'm like, yes. So that's been good. Looking forward to Jedi Survivor and the new Zelda game coming out, and Redfall's coming out here pretty soon. We got like 3 weeks of good new releases coming out, which I'm pretty stoked about. I've been playing some Civ, and then I've been working on a side project for a tabletop RPG thing with some friends. It's been pretty exciting. Finally getting my hands dirty with doing some game design. So yeah, same busy.
Cool. Let's see, on my end, Kraken are in the playoffs. They're tied 2-2, best of 7, which is exciting. Their next game is on Friday. I finally scored tickets to Gary Newman concert in Seattle on May 15th. So yeah,
Nice.
yep. Basically, that is my soundtrack for the pandemic. I kind of discovered his newer stuff, I guess, around that time.
Nice. Yeah.
There was like a little clip of it in a South Park episode, and I'm like, what is that? That sounds like it's like industrial straight out of the 90s. And it wasn't. It was Gary Newman's new stuff, which sounds like he plucked it out of the late 90s industrial scene. But yeah, so I'm excited for that concert. And then, you know, this summer I got okay from my boss to go back to Canada for, you know, the usual summer kind of thing.
Nice.
So kind of getting ready for that. You know, the 1,001 things you need to do in order to move for 4 months. Yeah. And then there was a bit of a break in D&D. We haven't played in a couple weeks just on the channel in general. Adam was out of town. Mark's schedule wasn't good. So kind of Kraken playoffs and some game prep have basically filled in the gap there. Why don't we do a recap of what happened last game, called the Dreamboat. The Jerks Emeritus visit the House of the Moon. Pixel, in her Dream Lotus form, provides a means for a prolonged trip into the Dream Realm. The party visits dreams of people in the Great Wheel while tracking down the footsteps of Ezri. On the periphery of the Dream Constellation, they spot a ship, the IAM Dreamboat. The party boards the ship and unintentionally brings aboard a sinister stowaway. And they did battle with said stowaway before it could really escape the professor. The stowaway ended up being the worm thing that had been camped out in the professor's sinuses for a while. And Thurgus dealt the killing blow to the thing, which killed it in the real world as well, freeing the professor of one of his, how shall we say, many afflictions.
Many afflictions.
This isn't the cholera, right? The cholera wasn't caused by a worm?
Incurable cholera is still on the character sheet. This was when I had, it was the Mother of Smothering Arms implant. During the professor's visions of the world without light, he was hungry and compelled to eat one of the squirming, crawling beings. A worm man burst out of my stomach in the dream realm and was cut in half by Thurgus. When it died, I almost died from a brain hemorrhage. So, thanks. Thank you.
Almost.
It's fine.
And I will say, Zephyros was very, very happy because he's been carrying around that chain fence that against evil outsiders since like game 2 or something.
Yeah, you got to use it.
The first time he got to use it.
Finally, yeah.
It was a good thing too, because had the worm escaped into the vent, I had a bunch of like encounters planned. Like basically as the worm haunted you while you were on the Dreamboat, but we got to the point where nope, the party really, really didn't want to let the thing escape. Fine.
Come here, you.
I'll save those nightmares for another time. As I think your guest and captain said something about you only bring onto the Dreamboat what you brought with you. Captain Remy, that is. All right, I think we left off in the Dreamboat dining hall. There is, right after the battle, as Thurgus is watching this worm thing, kind of, it's slowly breaking up and disappearing. Like it's flaking away, and it's like almost like a memory, as opposed to something that you can interact with. You feel the boat shift a little bit. Like it rapidly changed directions. Maybe there was a bit of a wave. All of the Chinaware kind of like jingled. The stuff that's still on the tables that wasn't knocked off when you guys are having your pitch battle in the dining hall. All right. Did something happen? Says Boogerbeck.
We seem to be moving.
Change direction.
On purpose?
Don't know.
Oh, maybe maybe we should go ask the captain. I'll go ask him. Here we go.
Shaken, not stirred. Horace leaps from the table, knocking a bunch of shit over, and he's flying out of the room.
I'll follow along to see if we can find the captain.
Okay, so Fereosae is following. Anyone else?
I think we're all probably gonna go.
Okay.
Clarifying question: did Thurgus get smaller when he dreamed? Like, did he go back to being size medium?
Yes.
Okay.
That's your original size, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And then Christopher is medium.
Nice.
Oh, Mokrenom just his three mouths kind of join into a flail of three mouths, like all the worm-like necks join together, and he latches on to Dreamtime Zephyros's massive robe, and it gets pulled along. Yeah, the ship is swaying side to side. You get the sense that you're, yes, as you pass some of the rooms and you could see the portholes outside, that there might be some sort of storm.
Okay.
The hallways as you're going up through the boat almost are blurry. Horace seems to be the only thing that is in focus as you're moving.
The dream seems to be struggling a bit here. I hope the captain's okay. Dreamstorm.
Oh. The group of you make your way. Move. We'll go.
No offense, but a dreamstorm sounds pretty fucking terrible. Are we gonna die?
Can I pause for a moment while we're like walking down this hallway and just like try and stop and look at the fuzzy hallway and concentrate on the dream and see if I can kind of like dream in unison and bring it more into focus?
Sure. Give me a... I'm guessing you would choose int if I said any of your mental stats.
Yeah.
Give me an int check. You could also give me a use magic device if that's...
Yeah, that's better. Let's do that. 26.
Okay. You focus into one of the side rooms and you're like, I'll make this room real. And you end up seeing... there's a room full of cats. But they're all like wearing jewelry, and there's like a throne where it's flanked by Onkwani style cats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like some sort of throne room / guest chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice Remy wandering through the room, complaining about cat hair.
Okay. And it feels more real for at least a moment or two.
For a brief moment, a brief moment, it felt real, and then it went blurry again. And you try to force it back, and now you're just seeing an in focus empty space. Like there's no longer a bunch of cats in jewelry and an Onkwani throne.
Come on now. If we all try extra hard, I'm sure we can keep this place ship shape. And I will crack off a salute and try and turn back into my little sailor outfit as I keep marching down the hallway.
Yeah, that seems to go well. You seem to be able to affect at least your own person. Give me a second roll for that.
UMD or int?
In check.
That was 20?
Yeah, you've got the threads that you want on are now on your person. You're in this little cartoonish sailor outfit.
Like the Cracker Jack box.
Yeah, like your mom dressed you up in a facsimile of a sailor's uniform, appropriate for like a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Professor, knock that shit off. You look like a stripper.
What? Stripper? I don't even know what that is. I'm 7 years old. Captain?
Okay, you end up in the bridge. The bridge is filled with all sorts of instruments and doodads and doohickeys that you're not sure how they work. They all seem appropriate, though, for a boat. I don't think any of you are sailors or have any appropriate knowledge in water travel.
I've got the bardic. I know everything kind of bits, but other than that, no.
Okay,
No.
it does definitely seem like there is a storm. The storm is strange in that it's changing colors, and you're seeing every once in a while faces. Quite a few of them look like they are not having a good time, like faces of agony and torment that are forming out of the mist and then being pulled back in. It looks like the boat is trying to navigate around said storm. Remy's there, and he seems to be just talking to himself about sleep. Did you know? Human beings spend 1/3 of their lives sleeping, while cats spend roughly 2/3 of theirs asleep. Other animals, like koalas and bats, can sleep up to 22 hours a day. The more you know.
Fantastic. Remy, do we need to get ready for a fight? What's going on here?
Oh, I managed to see the storm ahead of time. Don't be such a spaz.
Have you been through it before?
Yes, you don't want to get caught through the thing. It's almost like it came straight at us.
Yes.
Someone tried to psych us. We'll psych them
Right.
out. Right back.
Has this ever happened before?
Yes. Sometimes some of my passengers, well, have gathered attention. The storm knows not to come after me when it's just me and Horus.
So the storm, do you think the storm is making the decision or somebody is sending the storm?
Yes. You notice that when Horus lands, he hits an instrument and there's some flashing button. Don't be such a spaz. And he picks up Horus and resets a dial. Some flashing light stops.
Zephyrus looks at Horus and asks, "What about parrots? Do they sleep a lot?"
I got good dreams. He also has nightmares, as we all do.
Our minds are strong. Do you think we can help make the boat go faster or
Yes.
stabilize it?
Yes.
I'll
This
walk up to Remy and say, Professor Sailor First Class reporting for duty. To the engine room, Captain?
No, there's no need to go down there. He's afraid of the engine room? Doesn't want you to go there?
Maybe I can soup this ship up with some really good cutting through the waves and we can really smash through this storm or supercharge it or something.
Maybe there's a way to send that awful dream away. The use of flower power.
I will reach in my jacket and try and pull out a flower, but I think it will just be a dead tulip or rose or just something really decayed and decrepit.
No, maybe if all of you form a circle and summon up your best dreams.
Do we have best dreams?
Well,
Sure.
you said you wanted to help.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, we can do it, guys. Let's just think really hard on how we can soup this boat up and cut through this storm.
Okay, just grab my
Yes, all right.
spoodles.
The professor, I guess, will go. It looks like we can kind of walk outside of the main cabin out onto like an exposed deck into the wind here, right?
Yep.
And
You can hear the howls of panic and pain and fright of like hundreds of people coming from the storm.
Okay, I'll go out to this railing here and I'll walk up to it and I'll put my fingers to my forehead and I'll, oh, come on, we got this, concentrate. And I will start to concentrate on like making the boat the most sturdy, powerful, seaworthy vessel ever that I can imagine, which I assume will turn it into like some real dark, like evil masted sort of creation over time. But I'm really gonna just pour all of my concentration into trying to protect the boat.
I'm gonna place my crown upon your head and start trying to think of a very happy memory of mine.
All right, Horace lands on the crown. Anyone else joining the dreaming circle?
Yeah, Zephyros will make his way there, and I'm sure Mokrenom will too.
If I don't have any good dreams, should I participate? I kind of only usually have nightmares. That's why I choose not to sleep. I kind of fucking hate this place. No
It
offense.
might be safer not to participate.
Mokrenom joins. Bukerbeck does join as well.
Dreams but hopes?
What's that?
Maybe you have hopes, not dreams. Perhaps you can think of them? If not, I guess you could stand guard.
Yeah, but what if all my hopes are like, oh man, I hope I really get a chance to murder that guy? Am I gonna like taint all the positivity?
It's a good question. How about this? Can your friend Christopher join us?
Oh, I mean, if you guys are thinking about we gotta get out of here, that's like his only thought.
He's a big fan of water too.
Yeah, he's probably good for it.
I like that little guy. Although
Christopher
he's kind of big now.
Christopher comes waddling over. Oh, this ain't like no storm I've ever been in. The waves are now like faces moving through the water and battering the side of the boat, and you can feel the pain and anguish and loss and confusion rolling off of them as they hit the side of the boat.
So the domain, Christopher.
Oh, I'll go first. All of those that are in the circle of dreaming feel this really powerful swimmer, and you're swimming through beautiful places of coral, all sorts of fish. You've got a trident in your hand. You can't tell whether it's bracers on your wrists or if they're actual golden scales. You seem to be a humanoid. You pause for a moment as you're approaching these monolithic pillars surrounded by beds of coral, beautiful starlight, sunlight, moonlight maybe, beaming down through the waters. You just feel alive and like Christopher was at home.
Yes.
Do any of you try to intrude on Christopher's dream?
No, Zephyrus is just focusing on dreaming. He's not particularly focused on Christopher.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm just concentrating too.
Like in dreams, you lose yourself to this this version of aqua bliss.
I'm fascinated by Christopher's dream and by Christopher.
Yep.
I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to join in with his dream.
Okay. And you're going to probe around a little bit, like try to fish out some information. What is Christopher's highest mental ability score, Max?
Wisdom 13.
So plus
1.
plus 1. Okay. I need Christopher to make an opposed roll with Fereosae's highest ability score.
All right. My highest is int at 26.
You can't fail.
Okay.
I can't fail, and I did pretty darn well there.
You
yeah.
succeeded, and quick math.
I'm not at all hostile to him, though. I
Nope. You beat it. You beat him by it. For every 5, you learn a piece of information. Okay, so you learn 4 pieces of information. What do you want to learn from this?
Where is he from, and where does he want to go? And I guess how did he end up stuck here?
Okay.
And does he have any friends?
All right. First question again.
Where is he from?
This place is called the River Ocean.
Okay. And where's he going? Where does he want to go?
To Olympus.
Okay. How did he get trapped? How did he get stuck here?
He was separated.
Okay. And does he have any friends?
The Olympians.
Yeah. I mean, I Matt know who he is, but I don't think Fereosae knows.
Yep.
I don't think Fereosae was in on that necessarily. But this gives a real strong hint. Let's get you home, buddy. Let's get you home. We'll get out of this together, you and I.
Okay. Oh, that'll be nice. I think I know that place, says Christopher. He doesn't seem to know the things that you probed around and found out.
Ah, nice.
We just need to get the fuck out of here.
We do.
Oh.
We do.
All right. The dream, as dreams do, shifts. Who's taking the taking control?
I mean, the professor's trying so hard to concentrate on just like the most powerful, impressive vessel that could ever have sailed the seas. I'm trying to will it into existence around us.
Okay. The happy, good time thoughts of those revisiting their happy dream seem to be powering your
Yes.
your mental ritual. So,
God.
who's going next?
Zephyrus will go up next.
Okay. What is a good dream of Zephyrus's?
Zephyrus he's sort of dreaming of Heshmalon, the place where he wants to go and that he wants to visit and that he wants to see, and he sort of sees it as sort of this field like paradise where the fans are roaming, and just this peaceful, blissful place.
Kind of the storybook idyllic wonders
Savannah.
of
Yeah.
animals roaming freely, wide open spaces, not a care in the world.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Okay. Is anyone probing around in Zephyrus's dream? This is a shared experience, so
I'm like so focused on concentrating on trying to create, whatever the professor's trying to will, that I can't get distracted by other people's dreams.
I'm curious. I want to help everybody who's dreaming dream.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do to help Zephyros focus his dreaming towards something he's excited about.
What specifically is Zephyros going to do when he gets to Heshmala?
He's just looking for the rest. He has this notion that there's this, I don't want to say tribe or this group of fans who live there, and that they're sort of elevated in stature from the fans who don't live there, and that there are these, I would want to say, more mature version of the fan population living there, doing their thing, living off the land. I say living off the land, I mean it more along the sense of they're more one with the world in which they live. They're not fighting. There's no anger in their way of living.
Yeah, they don't have to live in walled compounds away from or within dirty human cities.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like Fereosae, you're not probing too deep. Like, you're not trying to plumb his mind for secrets. Okay. The dream shifts again, and you're almost in the exact opposite than a idyllic, pastoral world. You're actually in this gilded hall, and you can see Bukrabek striding into the hall and greeting a bunch of people that seem to be happy to see him. And he looks like Dreamtime Bukrabek.
I was gonna say, is this sexy Bukrabek or is this?
It's not Frog Bukrabek. It is Dreamtime. It is Dreamtime Bukrabek, and his dream seems to be very, very detailed. Like, he ends up in a line of priests that all are on their knees worshiping Bampa Dama Dumba, and he receives some accolade, which, of course, in that religion of trade and wealth, is like a big gold holy symbol that marks him not only as a high priest, but also as honored amongst his fellow priests.
Max, you missed this from the last game. Bukrabek is incredibly handsome, like Greek Adonis character here in the Dream Realm.
Do we know why?
We think this is his past incarnation. This is who Bukrabek actually used to be, and this, like, just the Chad merchant of all Chad merchants.
Does he need a kiss from a princess?
He ends up before this great pulpit, and he delivers a speech. You only get, like, booming echoes of what exactly he said. It is religious liturgies about trade and wealth and
many hands.
Many hands, yep. You do notice that he does notice that there are some of these, like, conniving, whispery priests that may not be so happy that Bukrabek has received this lauded position.
Ooh.
It's like maybe they...
In fact, for a brief moment, the boat jumps as Bukrabek comes to a realization, and all you see are, like, flashes of daggers and clubs and him getting attacked, and he quickly has to hand off the
oh my god.
Who's taking the reign next?
I'll take it.
Okay, I need you to make an opposed check with Bukrabek, because his good times, actually, he remembered something bad.
Even in his good dreams.
His mental is +7. He rolls a 21.
All right, I've got a +8 on my mental. I get
no,
so
staying in
5.
Okay, the circle is getting polluted somewhat, as Bukerbeck's bad time and his realization of something that he forgot has now translated into a bad time that Fereosae has lived through that she's now sharing with the group.
Can I see distress on Bukerbeck's face?
What is your sense motive?
Plus 33.
Yeah, he's one of your companions that you've traveled with for a long period of time, so the DC is really low. Yeah, you can tell that not only is Bukerbeck having a hard time, like shocked to the point of almost panic. You did notice that a wave of fear or sadness has come over Fereosae as well. Fereosae,
yeah.
what is the sad moment that you can't help but think about, or the not happy moment in your past that haunts your dreams?
Yeah.
Can I try and cast a spell?
Sure. Let's just get what the beginning of her dream is first, and then your spell will go off.
I'm much younger. I'm standing in a tower filled with sort of books and trinkets and potions and quills and papers. And there's a wizard lying on the floor like he's convulsed into an odd position, clearly dead.
Who is the person that's dead?
This is my former sort of master, the guy that found me and raised me from when I was an orphan. But to him, I was just a curiosity, one of the magical creatures in his menagerie.
Not necessarily a ward.
No,
you were more of a
exactly
curiosity.
Loved, but sort of the only person I knew.
Got it. So
he succumbed to a terrible curse.
Now, Thurgus casting a spell. You're interrupting what's going on. What are you casting?
I want to concentrate on calm emotions. So it is a 20-foot radius spread that allows me to essentially suppress fear effects and emotional effects.
Okay.
So I see him freaking out, and I want to try and channel. So I know a lot about rage. I know a lot about fear. And I also know how to suppress that stuff and keep it buried deep down. So Thurgus is gonna concentrate on calming emotions.
Can you roll an initiative? Because you do notice that there are 2 tendrils from the storm of nightmares that are actually pointing towards your little dream circle. Like they were coming in to seize Bukerbeck and Fereosae.
29 on my initiative check.
29, the storm is this giant thing. It doesn't have an initiative modifier of 9 or higher. So you win, you cast the calm emotions, and you notice that the 2 tendrils sort of just break off, like they're no longer interested. And Fereosae, you end up dreaming the original intended dream because of this magic spell that was cast.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I can maintain concentration on that for up to 13 rounds.
Okay.
And I will choose to
gremlins cackles with joy and carries me off from the house of the wizard, and time flits by until we arrive at the first unseelie court visit that I ever had, and there's dancing and music, and I know that one day I'll be a bard.
Did you say unseelie?
Yeah.
Fereosae's happy moment is joining a bunch of evil fae in their revelries. I just want to point that out a little bit.
Yeah.
It is joyous. It's just not a place you want to be.
From the gremlins I learned curse. And
when the quicklings started playing, how do we call it? Tag. That was like a scary thing. Of course, tag in Quicklings, their version of the game involves daggers. Tag your it. Yes. So yeah, you get little glimpses of that. Fereosae luckily wasn't part of the tag game, but you got to witness the fun of non-Quicklings participating in Quickling tag.
I mean, that checks out. That's why Fereosae is down to ride with this crew. I mean, it's a good party. As long as you're not like a human square showing up to the Unseelie Courts like party. It's a good time. If you're just a fae.
My turn. Horace squawks happily. It's like he doesn't get to share his dreams very often, and immediately you're hit by another place that is just filled with sun. You can see this. You can see this young boy, clean shaven, olive complexion, sitting on a on like a divan. The divan is on top of a platform that's moving, and you could see people underneath the platform moving the litter.
Yeah.
And there's this massive crowd. It's like they're going through a crowded street full of merchants and commoners and people going to and fro. You can hear singing. There are these massive... it's the middle of the day. You don't know why they've got torches, but there are these lit torches, not quite with fire, but with magic, that are kind of lighting up as the progression is going forward. You do hear... I don't know if any of you speak Ankwani. Some of you might.
Yep.
He might have some family with him on the divan. Like it's like an entire living room that's kind of being moved on a litter. There's a stop to the procession. There's some sister that just begins to complain as the future pharaoh decides to step off the divan while there's some kerfuffle up ahead as like some oxen are being moved across the path of where the procession's happening. There's some soldiers that surge forward to go solve the problem. And this pharaoh, maybe 14 years old, you notice that he's got all sorts of body paints on his arms and jewelry. He looks down this way, and it's a very congested, packed street that goes down the hill to maybe the ocean or to the river. And he seems curious. And he gets off of his divan, and his guards who got distracted, he managed to avoid. You could feel this mischievousness, and you can hear the parrot go, like kind of like giggle a little bit. And he ends up walking past some stalls and some people who are all bowing, and it gets to the point where some of them are coming up to greet him, and they actually like touch his hand or touch his arm as he's going by, which does cause the body paint to like get disturbed.
Yeah.
But you get this intense feeling of joy that he's walking amongst his people, as opposed to being separated from them.
And the pharaoh, he's like the main focus of the dream?
It seems like it. There might have been some other foci on the... This was his experience, or maybe Horace's experience?
Yeah, exactly. Is this the parrots, the pharaoh here?
He ends up going all the way down, like talking to people and greeting them and interacting with them, all the way down to where he finds some poor fishermen. Something about a bunch of fishermen that were so destitute or so decrepit that they couldn't make the trek up that hill to even go see the pharaoh. Something about losing a leg in a crocodile attack. And he ends up bestowing upon them some minor gifts, which to him meant nothing, but to them meant everything.
Yeah.
And you end up knowing that this particular scene is like became some parable called The Pharaoh Walks Amongst His People.
Interesting.
The word Mayat ends up being comes to mind for some reason.
Is that low Ankwani, high Ankwani, or is it shared by both languages? This
Uh,
Mayat word.
Yeah, as a professor, you know the language. Mayat is the personification of truth, justice, and cosmic order.
MAET.
MAAT. 2 A's.
Truth, justice, and cosmic order. Right?
Harmony, law, in Hey Kenny, how's it going? You get the sense that Horus is nice, but possibly important.
Yeah, it sounds like very important. He's like a parable legend from Unguani mythology.
Good deal.
All right, we've had two. Let's see, Mokrenom. Mokrenom's dream. We're gonna simply call the feast.
Oh.
Mokrenom Gobbler, who is the part intelligent bag of holding, part mimic. For some reason, his parents, the things that spawned him, weren't paying attention, and Mokrenom was left in a room where a feast for the Mokrenom Gobblers was left out.
Oh.
And Mokrenom, after a while, like, he took a nip of a thing and a nip of a thing, and we're talking about intelligent bag of holding mimic feasts, like all sorts of things that shouldn't go in your mouth. It makes some of you a little sick to your stomach in that he was the first time he ever felt full. For eating or for keeping.
Yes.
and he ate and ate and ate and ate, and you don't know if this is his dream or if this is something that has happened, but Mokrenom really wants to feel full.
Wow.
That gives us how many dreams? Christopher, Mokrenom. I'm not going to count Bukerbeck's because that one went sour. Zephyros is 3, Horus is 4, and because of the spell, you rectified Fereosae's dream. So it's 5 positive dreams. All right, and you're trying to buffet the ship. I'm going to give you a +10 to your int check, as you were trying to make the ship the most impenetrable ship to nightmares as possible.
I'm trying to focus on like the boyish professor thinking of the most powerful, menacing ship that the ocean itself would be afraid of. The waves themselves would recoil in fear from our mighty vessel. Is the professor's concentration.
Okay, what does the ocean fear?
I think it is more just like human fears, where it's
Global warming.
You picture the dark kind of foggy seas, and perhaps lightning crashes upon it, and you see its towering masted sails twisting in the breeze, and perhaps you see a little bit of the hull as it cuts through the waves. And is it the old twisted oak of driftwood, or is it like writhing bodies chained to the ship here? And he looks around and he sees all of us are in chains to the vessel, simultaneously rowing the ship while also beating the drum to drive us ever onward. And the ship is just this madness of we can never stop and we can never be stopped out there, unleashed upon the waves.
Kind of describes the Jerks Emeritus in this weird way. They force a force kind of for good sometimes that cannot be stopped.
Driven ever onwards, unable to tear away.
Okay, I've got a DC in mind. You've got a +10 from the good dreaming. You've got your own int modifier.
Yep, here we go. For HMS Nightmares. 27.
Okay.
6 on the roll.
Let's see what the force behind the nightmare sees what you're doing and is going to try to redouble the efforts to make the storm catch up to the ship and swallow it and drive all of those on board mad. 21. Okay. Your juggernaut of weirdness and driving forward manages to outrun the storm. And after what feels like hours, the storm finally recedes into the distance. And it almost like claws back, like something had reached out with the hand of the storm and then missed, and then just sort of retracted back into the void between the two constellations of dreamers that you are, hey Gus, that you're trying to traverse. The captain looks like he's less concerned with a lot of his instruments. He's like just piloting, moving the wheel slightly. He gives all of you a nod as you come in. Many of you feel a bit exhausted and spent as you've expended a lot of emotion.
Well, we did it, Captain! Problem solved. Reporting for duty.
Oh, Zephyros, is there lots to eat for, like, keeping and eating in Heshmala?
Yes, and if you're near me, I can always get you some lots and lots and lots to eat. I can give you lots to eat every night.
Oh, okay. I didn't see lots to eat there, but I'll trust you.
I can just gas that lovely place where we go to eat stuff.
Oh yeah, your house.
Yes. And I can cast it in Heshmala, I can cast it here, I can cast it anywhere.
Oh.
Zephyros presumes he can cast it here. I don't know that he's tried it.
One day Mokrenom will have a house. One day Mokrenom will be the house.
Oh, there you go.
And then you can live inside of him and he'll promise not to eat you for keeping or for eating.
That would be interesting. Zephyros looks at his size and Mokrenom's size.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have dreams.
Very good to have dreams. Did you see my dream?
Yeah. Did you see mine?
I did not. I was lost in Heshmala.
Oh, well, we had all sorts of things to eat.
What did you eat?
He names a bunch of things that are not what humanoids eat.
And it's for keeping?
Oh, some of it's for eating.
All of it for eating.
Yeah.
That sounds
Why
nice.
While you guys were, reveling in your small victory over the storm, Captain Remy did turn to Thurgus. You did not join them?
Nope. Dreams are for people who have them, and I will not partake. It's kind of like being the whole Teddy Downer kind of thing. Nobody wants a Teddy Downer.
Jeepers creepers, I don't think I've met a single soul who hasn't had a good dream. Once in a while.
It's been a long time, mate. So long that I think I would have a lot of trouble trying to focus on it. So didn't want to put it all at risk. Figure it's best if I just keep an eye on things,
Well, we've gone a little off track, but I think we're at the spot where I dropped off Ezri, the cat.
Oh, excellent.
I look around. Are we still in the middle of like an ocean?
Yeah, you see that you're approaching land, maybe? It's kind of hard to see. There's this red mist. This crimson mist that is hugging the shore. I wouldn't get too excited there.
Was that there before?
Yes, we need to find the... Oh, there it is. There's usually an entrance.
I have the dream catcher that can sort of follow Ezri's path. Perhaps that will help.
Oh, she certainly went in there.
I'm sure.
It's not a place that you should enter into lightly.
Yes.
Have any of you heard of the Amber Castle?
No.
Castle
No, I don't
Amber?
think so.
Chateau d'Ambreville?
I don't think so. Have I? Have I heard of this?
That's a good question. Is it a knowledge? Is it a planar thing?
Knowledge
Or
planes.
history? Planes?
Planes, yes.
Let me give you a planes check.
I think I've heard of it. Oh my god, 2 on the die? What am I rolling here?
34. But I'm also rolling bad.
Man, 5. 5 for you.
Are you
big
guys
guy.
aiding each other, or you're all doing your own independent rolls?
I think we're doing independent rules here.
Yeah, it felt independent there.
Okay.
At least Fereosae and the professor there.
14.
My copy and paste didn't work. Give me a moment. Let me
Oh,
re-roll.
okay. Yeah.
30.
All right, so 14, you don't know what he's talking about. 26 and 30.
34 is the highest, right? 34 is fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a second. So 26. You know that Castle Amber is the name of a strange pearl. That there's some castle that sits, some chateau castle that sits in the center of it.
Do we?
But you've never been there, and people don't seem to come from there. People tend to get trapped there and then are never seen again.
Okay.
With a
And
with a 30, you are aware that Castle Amber is in the dream realm. It's like some proto pearl that's in the dream realm. Or at least it's entered and exited via the dream. The 34, you know that those who get trapped in the dream realm don't come back, but end up being tortured or at least driven mad by the conflict between two beings in the dream realm.
Okay. Is one of them based out of Castle Amber?
One of them is D'Ambreville, Lord D'Ambreville, or Amber as in a more common tongue, you'd call him. You don't know who the other invader is. Like, there's some invader to his realm. And then 34, the last thing that you know is that this realm was stolen by the Titans. And it might very well be a version of what is called a Dread Realm.
Nice, okay. This is a dread realm of some sort, a place of essentially a cursed place. where the Lord Amber seems to control it. There is another invader that seeks control of the dreaming. People that get lost and trapped in the dreaming are torn apart between them.
Remy, there. And you can see as you guys are bobbing up and down in the boat, there's like a tunnel in the red mist that is opening, and you could see a rickety dock with a little path that leads up from the rickety dock.
Fereosae, did you just call this a dread realm?
Yeah, do we know what a dread realm is?
How fucking long have you had that information stuck in your brain? And why the fuck did you not tell us that before we went to sleep and fucked off on some boat?
I didn't know we were going to...
Oh, the dream realm is so great. By the way, it's not a dream realm, it's a dread realm. You're gonna die, and there's a bunch of people here who are fighting over domination or something like that. I say, Ezri's fucked. We should piss off.
To be fair, I thought we were going to Heshmalab.
This place sucks, I'm telling you right now, this was a terrible idea.
Heshmala's...
Look at that amber mist flowing like blood from this realm.
Yeah, blood is supposed to be like water, not like air in the sky.
Ah.
No,
That's
but
like what's wrong with it.
this realm is on the edge of the next constellation. Perhaps she's just passing through. She was a wily thing.
Yes.
Are we sure she's still dead? Look, should we cut her alive? Could she be dead? Should we cut her losses?
I'll break out the lens. Do we see a path up the dock?
Yeah, you break out the lens to see, you notice that there is one of the Dreamboat's emergency like dinghies is still tied up at the little dock, and you could see the little golden footprints coming off of the dinghy heading up the path that disappear into the mist.
This is the way she went. We're much stronger than Ezri, although she is wily.
Do we know what a dread realm is specifically? Other than it sounds terrible.
That would be another knowledge planes, and I'm going to force you guys to roll together because you're all like now talking about what it is.
Sure.
I could lead with a 24. Anybody got higher?
I have a 29.
You take lead. I'll give you an aid.
Actually, I have a
Aid.
30.
Thurgus is thoroughly pointing out all the reasons that a dread realm sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, I think you probably have full aid from all of us, and maybe even Booker back.
Yeah.
So that would be 5 aids.
Does Bukerbeck have planes? He's got a +6 he needs to roll.
Does Mokrenom know about planes?
I don't think so.
He doesn't know.
He knows about extra dimensional spaces in his stomach.
He kind of does. That is kind of a knowledge of planes.
He knows about Grand Station, Engineering, Dungeoneering, and Arcana. Nope, nothing that.
That seems fair. Let's do this thing.
There we go. 55's got to get us something.
Okay. There are stories. You thought that they may have been more like fairy tales.
Yeah.
About how the universe or the multiverse, there is a twisted sense of justice in the multiverse. That sometimes one could become so tragic or evil that the multiverse would either encase them or trap them into a dread realm from which they could not escape.
Oh my god, what?
The part that is more tragic is that people can get trapped in the dread realm with those evil entities, and whole civilizations could live and die next to and around and underneath the thumbs of these dread.
Are there stories of people who do escape on a 55?
Yeah, it's not impossible to escape. Fereosae, you know you don't want to go into the red mist without there being a tunnel.
Right.
The red mist, you might just disappear, or it might kill you, or like it's you need, if you go in, you're going to need to find a way out.
Yes. So the Dread Realms are a trap for especially tragic and wicked souls.
The Titans were
This seems like my cue right
the
here.
Titans were jealous of whoever or whatever entity unknown created the Dread Realms and wanted one for their own, and ended up stealing
Yes.
the Dream Realm, Dread Realm of Castle Amber.
The Titans stole this one to join the Dream Realm because they were jealous of its power and whatnot. Going through the tunnel is safer than going through the mist. If we go in, we want to have a way out, like the tunnel.
And we're seeing a tunnel form through this like amber red mist, and on the other side of that tunnel, presumably big enough to fit our boat, is a little dinghy from our boat and a rickety dock.
The tunnel through the mists along the water leading to the docks is big enough for another dinghy. It's not big enough for this boat.
But we're still in a dream, so I'm gonna give it a try. I am gonna crack a salute. Captain, prepare to go ashore. And I will snap that thing off, and I will try and cartoonishly like bing, pew, where the professor little child kid here will just disappear in a puff of smoke down to the bottom deck to try and find some kind of line on this boat to start throwing it in and start bringing us ashore, and try and maybe if I can even just shrink this boat down as we get smaller till it's like childishly, cartoonishly small, and we drift into the dock and try and tie us off. I'm trying to get us ashore.
The boat does groan as you're trying to change its configuration. Stop that! You hear the captain bark out. I'm not going in there. I'm simply your... your captain for this part of the voyage.
You're not gonna be our captain anymore, Captain?
You can have one of my dinghies if you wish. You can name it whatever you want. Oh.
Do we have to call it dinghy, sir? It sounds rather offensive.
A launch?
Maybe dongy? Or perhaps pickle? Or...
Sure, the dinghy pickles.
Yes, HMS Dong Pickles, ready to go ashore.
Okay. The dinghy ends up looking like an inflated pickle.
Oh, I think I'll just fly.
I'll stand on the pickle dinghy and salute, ready for anyone to come aboard with me.
Well, it was nice meeting and knowing you all.
It's the same here, Zafira says, and he and Mokrenom floats down the professor.
Okay.
You come back by this way often?
I can, although that storm may come back. It seemed to have been looking for something.
Perhaps for us. It won't find us in here, though.
I heard that there was a stowaway. Perhaps it was looking for that.
Perhaps. You should chuck it off.
Is there anything else that you need from me?
Do we need you to go back?
Perhaps. Although, one of you did mention, I believe, during the revelries, that you were capable of casting plane shift. Know that it will not work in there. But, once you're out, you might be able to shift back.
That makes sense. We can't shift to Heshmala because we don't have the key.
Waking up...
We have rods attuned to, yes.
Waking up would be dangerous to both your dreaming self and your real self, given the distance that you have traveled.
Sure.
You are between dream constellations. Your lives hang in the balance.
We knew that.
Are you coming back this way, going the other way again?
Yeah, right.
Keep in
Is there
mind
no
that
way around this to the next constellation?
I can linger for some time and check in.
All right.
That would be great.
Remember, Ezri has my hook.
Oh, yes. What does it do again?
It can grab dreamers.
Ah.
Dreamers that might be too deep in the dream.
All right, all right. A convenient thing for Ezri to have is she's relatively deep in the dream herself.
Yes. She did mention something about her friends. I'm not sure which friends she was talking about.
Interesting. Let's go and see. Perhaps her friends were in there.
Horace? Shaking that stone! Perhaps we should send them with the radio. That way they can contact me when they get out.
Oh, that would be tremendous.
Yes.
Horace goes flapping off, and somehow he's dragging this radio back to the group. And
Is this one of the devices we saw?
this is one of the devices you saw in the master bedroom.
Because we were playing with them and we didn't know what the devices were.
Yeah,
remember?
specifically the
Yeah.
backpack radio is what.
Yeah. It looks like an army guy from Vietnam's like backpack radio, right?
Yep.
What number shall we put it on to talk to you?
Channel 7. Lucky number 7. Suki Suki.
Channel 7D.
Suki, yeah. Oh man, is he gonna sing us off while we go ashore?
The Dreamboat.
I hope this salute, just a single tear might roll down.
Who's taking the backpack radio?
Probably Bookerbeck looks like he's a. Oh,
right.
I'll pick that up.
That would be fine. Bukerbeck or Zephyros, I think.
A
I'm
wonderful,
just a floating
Sure.
mask.
a wonderful piece of equipment.
Yeah, Bookerbeck puts it on his back. I do
Feeling
warn
good.
you that on other channels you will hear voices. I would not listen to them.
Who are those voices? Do we want to know?
Haunts, spooks, other dreams, demons. You should not trust any voice aside from on Channel 7, and if it is mine. And Horace. I don't think you'll get good reception in there.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Immediately, Professor, you have like these creepy ideas, like this device may be a way of contacting things and talking to them.
I get flashes of like a Ouija board planchette and like
Yep.
lightning and candles burning in the dark. Hold my salute though.
Okay.
Just waiting for people to board HMS.
Crazy.
Pickles.
Thurgus is going to use his wings of flying. I don't know that he's tried to use those in the dream realm yet, but they're the ones that he took from that other cloud giant.
Okay.
And so they made those giant wings of clouds.
It's an
so he's
item
gonna
that you
try-
have?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no problem translating powers of things that you know how to do in the waking world to the dream world.
Yeah, no, I'm not mounting your pickle, Professor. Sorry. Fly
I will
off by
walk,
myself.
so
Has anyone got onto the pickle? Am I
yeah,
just,
yeah,
like,
there's-
standing here while everyone flies off over my head.
The
Bookerbeck.
inflated pickle boat is now full of the dreamers that are your companions. Thurgus seems to want to fly of his own accord.
But is Zephyros just hovering inches above the seat of the HMS Pickle, like refusing to actually touch the ground?
Yeah,
That's true for Zephyros wherever he goes. He does not touch the ground.
He's holding on to it with this trunk so that he's going along. But yes,
Okay.
it's a good thing because his girth and size right now might sink your inflated
Yeah, it looks like a child's toy.
mockery of a boat.
Yeah.
Okay, I assume you guys are going towards the tunnel that is beckoning.
I mean, that's where the professor's taking the pickle, whoever's on it.
Yeah.
We're going straight for that dock where we see the dinghy tied up.
And we're not asking how anybody else knows how to go there. So we're just going to follow.
Thurgus, this just giant stuffed animal looking thing with his head dejected, just floating along on a wings of clouds. This is so fucking stupid. We're literally walking into a cloud of death and madness because we want to find someone who fucked off. Oh my god, why am I even here? And he just floats along like Charlie Brown.
At least it's red.
I guess it's got a good colour theme. I suppose you're right.
I think the mist is blood.
It's not supposed to look like that, Christopher. It's sacrilegious. It's like someone put blood in a frying pan and steamed up the whole house. It's just wrong.
Somebody likes blood in here.
It's not supposed to be a cloud, Christopher. It's supposed to be rivers of blood. Nobody comes back from war and is like, oh, I made clouds of blood. You would look at that guy and go, what the fuck is wrong with him? It's just wrong, mate.
All right, you guys are traveling down the tunnel through the mists. The boat paddling along with the professor's mind. It's making the squeaky sort of like rubbery sounds as people are shifting in the boat. It seems very unseaworthy as a canoe-shaped pickle, inflated pickle, as you'd expect. The seams. Oh, the seams. Luckily, the water is still. Oh, it's too still. And you notice that where the mist meets the water, there are dead fish floating in the mist. They all seem to be goldfish, though. And you know that these are the dead dreams of goldfish that have been flushed down toilets.
Oh god, there must be so many. Just, oh god, they're everywhere.
It's where they go, apparently. You look back. There is a single blow of a foghorn from the Dreamboat, and the mists as you reach the dock, as if they were just inviting you in but not inviting you to leave, slowly collapse, and the tunnel is no more. There is a choking fog as the tunnel continues up this hill. The foliage looks very thistly and bristly and very uninviting to go off the path. You thought you heard maybe the growl of a dog or some angry chittering of crows.
As soon as the crows finish like cawing in the distance, the professor will break from his salute and turn around to the party in the boat and go, "Oh boy, did you see that? That was awesome! The tunnel, it was all like spooky and then just collapsed and then the crows started going. This place is marvelous. Let's go ashore."
Professor, I think we're going to need to be a little bit more cautious up here.
There's a weird.
If we're loud, we'll get killed.
There's a weird noise coming from the backpack. Bukerbeck doesn't know how to use it, and he's kind of turning around, but the backpack is on him.
I think we should be able to turn it off, I think.
Yeah, you could. Fereosae, you've got a good use of magic device. You'd like,
Yeah.
you just turn it off. Just before you thought you heard a voice.
And we just need to make sure we're on channel 7.
It was like it's some language you don't understand.
Ah. Yes, we've heard strange voices on it before. There might be other signals in here. I know he said we can't send signals out, so once we're inside these mists, any signal must be coming from inside the mists.
And we can maybe like use it to listen around, like if there's creatures nearby, and we change the channels, and maybe the really evil ones are on like channel 1, and the really
I think that's what we're going to be doing. We were explicitly warned not to listen to any voices not on channel 7. We don't know what will happen if we listen to any of the other voices.
Oh, they might tell us where there's something to eat.
Yeah, like what if they have really cool things to say though?
Let's keep looking for Ezri.
Or really warm things to say.
Oh yeah, Ezri. I guess that's our mission, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Keep a
all
close
right.
eye out. This place is going to be dangerous.
Then let's be quiet. HMS Pickle, rig for silent running.
And the professor's childish sailor outfit will change to like black turtleneck, like knit cap,
Perfect.
and he'll go into like a crouch, and maybe the pickle will like slightly crouch down and squeak a little as he.
Are you leaving the boat?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to shore and we're being very quiet.
Okay. The little dock is in bad disrepair. It's like no one has replaced a board on it in years and years. The black boards creak and almost some of them are waterlogged. They like sag underneath your feet. A couple of the boards are missing. You can see more dead goldfish, kind of bloated and white, bobbing up and down in the water around the dock. When you look through the dream catcher, you can see the golden paw prints of Ezri. Ezri's in a like cat form. Her paw prints are like a small cat.
Okay.
She did sniff around at the water's edge, and then it looked like she outright sprinted up the hill for some reason.
Let's go quick up this hill.
She thinks there's danger near the water.
Yes, let's keep going.
Okay. You start traveling up the hill, and you realize, well, maybe this happened to her as well. You can no longer see the dock as the mists are falling in behind you.
We don't need the dock anymore anyway. Done with the dock for now.
We'll find a path through.
It's best to focus on.
You
No other option, really.
climb up. You find a plateau kind of in the climb. And it looks like somebody had made camp here a long time ago. You see that there's a post, like a hitching post. And there's a slack rope that goes from the hitching post into the mist.
Oh.
And you can see some strewn camping gear. Like a bedroll. A little campfire that has gone out. Like somebody's...
The mist got that one.
Do we see like there's just like a bridle rope hanging from the hitching post? Or
Yeah,
is it
there's a like a leading rope for maybe a pack animal that goes into the mist, and it seems to be slack, not moving.
But like there's an animal on the other side. Is
You
what
can't
it seems to
the
imply?
mist you can only see like 5 feet into, and the rope seems to go along the ground further in than you can see. there is a continued climb up the hill.
Out of curiosity, is this a place where my Merc sight is helpful?
Ooh, yeah, in the mist.
Can I see just a little bit deeper?
So your Merc sight, where's that coming from?
It's a hex.
And it's always active?
Yeah.
Okay, Fereosae, you could see it. There is the bit and the rope leads to a decapitated donkey head that is rotting about 5 feet into the mist.